and we're coming on.
Excellent. Excellent. Hello, everyone. We had a few technical difficulties. We're running a little late here, but I think we're good to go now. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. And I want to welcome back some of you who participated in the first Meet the Professionals webinar with Tuni, and then also many of you also joined in with Katie Bernardin. So for those of you that have been here before, welcome back. We also have many juniors that are participating in this for the first time. So again, so happy to have you. Glad you're here. Hope you have a good time. A few things for how to participate in this. I want you to participate at whatever level you feel comfortable. I would love for you to turn your cameras on so I can see all your beautiful faces. But if you're uncomfortable with that, that is okay too. For those of you interested in a little more connection, at the end of this session, I will unmute everyone's microphones and you'll have an opportunity to come in and talk with Esteban and myself and everyone live, and we'll be able to have some live interaction. But for right now, I'm going to keep the microphones muted so that I can conduct the interview with Esteban, and then I will open things up after. And while I'm conducting the interview with Esteban, feel free to communicate with each other in the chat room. If you have a question you would like me to ask while I'm interviewing Esteban, please put your question in the chat room in all caps, and then I'll know to read off that question. So for those of you that don't know me, a little bit about me, I'm Kelly Marquis. I specialize in showing Doberman pinschers. I began showing when I was 8 years old. I attended lots of handling classes, and the predominant way I learned was from watching people that I really admired show dogs, and then I would work to emulate them and practice in a mirror, and that's a big part of how I learned to show dogs. Much of who I came to be as a handler came from watching Gwen DeMilta. Not only did I watch Gwen, I competed against her routinely. Showing against Gwen was like being a basketball player, and in order to get to the next round, you had to perform a one-on-one with Michael Jordan. So needless to say, success did not come easy. It was a lot of work. Learning to beat the big players in the Doberman ring. Competing against Gwen made me tougher, stronger, and definitely better. So to all of you that want to pursue greatness, achieving greatness is never easy. For me, I got my first big chance to experience greatness back in 2003. In 2003, I campaigned a Doberman bitch by the name of Blue Chip Purple Rain, and we went on to make #1 Doberman, #1 working dog, and #5 amongst all breeds. We later went on to win the 2006 Doberman National Specialty in Colorado. And I'm sharing my story with you for those who don't know me, so you have a sense of my credentials, and also so you know I have been where you are at. I was once a kid with a dream. And now that I've shared a bit about myself, I'd like to introduce you to a very special friend of mine, Esteban Farias, who also was once a kid with a dream. Esteban had to take some pretty big leaps of faith, in which case it involved him leaving his country and leaving his family to pursue a career as a dog show handler in the United States. Esteban's accolades, to name a few, were prior to coming to the US, he showed the #1 dog, all breeds in Argentina by the name of Lex Luther. In coming to the United States, he showed the #1 Doberman in 2013, Bella. And he also has been, he's really dominated the pug ring for the past decade. So he's had the #1 pug and the #1 toy. He's shown at Westminster, and he is one of my most favorite people. He makes dog showing fun. I can be really serious, and Esteban brings a sense of fun to this. So I'd love to introduce you to my very good friend, Esteban Farias. And Esteban.
Hi, everyone.
My name is not Jennifer Miller Farias, okay? That appear in the computer. It's my wife.
So Esteban, can you tell us how you got started in dogs?
Oh my God, long time ago. I also started like around when I was 8 years old, back in Argentina. We used to live in a farm with my mom, my dad, my brothers. And when we moved to Buenos Aires, our dog sadly died. So at the time, we didn't want more dog because we suffer a lot. And after probably 2 or 3 months, we start asking for dogs for my mom and dad. So I have the greatest idea of asking for a Doberman for them because I watched a movie, okay? And the movie was the Doberman Gang, that to refer a guy who trained a bunch of Dobermans to rob a bank. So my statement to my mom and dad, I say, I want a Doberman. I say, why you want a Doberman? Because when I grow up, I'm going to rob a bank. And they look at me like I was crazy or something. I say, no, for real, I'm going to train them. Well, to make a story short, they bought me a Doberman. We cut the ears. The veterinarian introduced us to dog shows, and my dad started showing the dog. And then we met more people. The dog never won anything, always lost, but we just went for fun. And then we got a female, and that female I started to show her, but at the beginning my dad was showing her. So when my dad went to work, I grabbed the female and I started working with her, trying to imitate what my dad was doing. Nobody knew about this because he always told me, don't do this, just do it with me, whatever, but I didn't listen and I did it myself. So this female was doing really well as a puppy. She was winning and winning and winning with my father. One time we went to a dog show very far away from Buenos Aires. My dad lost, and the judge say was my dad's fault because he did a terrible job. My father wanted to go back to Buenos Aires. He didn't want to stay for the next day. So I asked him, I cried like crazy and say, Dad, please let me show. Dulcinea was her name. And my dad say, but you don't know, you have not been working with her with me. I say, Dad, I know what I'm doing. Let me show her, please. A lot of people talk to my dad. Finally, he let me show her. I won best puppy, best in show puppy. I won reserve in the breed in adult, because in Argentina you have best of breed, reserve, and best opposite sex. The Doberman who beat me in the breed was a champion. He walked in the group. He got a group 1. So the reserve came for group 2, 3, and 4. And I got a group 3 with the 8-year-old puppy, with 8-month-old puppy. So the rest was history. My dad never touched again the dogs. And I was, from now on, the handler of the family. That is the way I start Dobermans, showing dogs.
That's quite the start. So one of the things I so love about watching you show is you put on such a grand show. Where does this come from? Did you have to develop this, or was this just naturally you?
I don't know. I love what I do. I always did. I just try to do whatever came to my head at the time with every different dog. And I try to study my dog to what is the best that I can do with them, with him, with her, with any dogs, you know. Every single dog is different. So sometimes you don't have time because they gave you the dog's ring size, so you have to accommodate. But basically what I do is just play and be happy and try to guide the dog to the best way possible without yelling at him or jerk at him with the leash, you know. But is I will say that it's natural because it's something that I love to do. I really love what I do. I feel very fortunate what I can work in something that I love. So I don't think it's work. I think it's fun.
You make it fun. So I remember watching you at the World Show in Argentina, and I was up in the stands and you were down on the floor in the center of the arena, and you were showing a German wire hair pointer, I believe of Jane Myers.
Oh my God, yes.
And I was sitting next to Jane, who also is a very accomplished handler. And I remember at one point you had this very young dog and you dropped the lead, and you just started stepping backwards. And Jane was next to me, like screaming, "Oh my gosh, you can't do that. That dog's crazy. He's not." And Jane, again, very accomplished handler, would have never taken a chance like that. You take risks. How do you dare to take risks like that?
Because I think sometimes is if you want to do something and be noticed about what you do, you have to take risk. Okay? I think all the time. That dog that you're talking about, he was kind of a little bit aggressive with other dogs, like, not a little bit, he was a lot aggressive, okay? But I have confidence, and sometimes that thing click in your head and you just do it without thinking, you know? That's why I say sometimes things are natural, and I take the risk, and I took the risk that day, like many other times. You have to take that little tiny risk to make it different. And I did it that day, and I will never forget that. And it was nice that you remind that, because it was a quiet thing. Like that dog could end in on top of another dog fighting, or jumping to you know, to the other side of the ring or whatever. But instead he stood there, and I believe I have built the confidence with the dog that why he trusts me, and he believed on me the same way that I believe that day he's going to stay there, and he stood there. Well, but always, never for a second doubt, if you think in your head, I'm going to take this little risk to try to make this different, always do it. Sometimes it's not going to work, and sometimes you're going to ask yourself, what I did that? But, you know, you did it for a reason. You did it to be noticed on something. You did it to try to win something. And at the end of the day, it does not work for you. At least you did it and you tried.
Yeah, I love that. And I love having someone different on here to interview, because my style, you know, when I met you, you know, I loved watching you. You were so different. I trained with Gwen, who's very, very controlled. And my mindset was, I never wanted to do anything wrong. I never wanted to screw up. And that can be a difficult way to show dogs when you're worried about doing something wrong. And you have this attitude of, you know, so what? I gave it a shot and it didn't work.
Exactly.
And I think that also lets go of some of the pressure. You know, for me personally, as I try to explore this with myself, is, you know, how can I try that thing that Esteban does? It lets a little pressure off of me and off of the dog as well. And I think that can be helpful for some of the other juniors that may be perfectionists in trying to put forward this perfect performance. There's a lot of pressure in that. And you just have this sense of fun that, I mean, not only do your dogs enjoy showing, it's a pleasure watching you. And the other thing that it seems like you're very in the moment. Do you, before you show, do you have a plan before you walk in the ring?
I always think what I'm gonna have for dinner that night. Yeah, that makes me happy. You know, what I'm gonna eat makes me happy. So no, beside the joke, I just prepare myself like I think like everybody else. I just try to be organized, which is very hard for me, and just to think what the dogs that I'm going to be showing. I'm not prepare in my head or do something. No, like I say, I enjoy what I do, and even if it's a lot of work that day or not, and just go there, have fun, and do my best. Even this is my job, okay? So some people say to me, how you can have fun when you're working, you know? And I say, I have fun because I love what I do. So it's no work for me. You know, I'm with the people that I like, with my family, with my friends. I have a lot of friends showing the same breed Dobermans that I show, or pugs. So, you know, I don't do anything special really. I just try to prepare my dogs to the best. I don't do any ritual or nothing like that before going to the ring. But something that still happened to me every single time that I show, and I think the day that I don't feel that anymore, I will stop showing. I have something on my stomach, like kind of a little bit of nervous, but I have been feeling since the first day I walk in the ring with every single dog, because I want to win. So with every single dog, that is what I have. But no any special things about preparing myself to the ring or nothing like that.
So have you ever had a time where do you ever get nervous?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Uh,
I do. But I think is a thing to get my nervous out of me getting nervous. You know, uh, I'm getting nervous. For example, if I walk with that dog in the ring and I don't know what to do. Okay, so that's why the best thing for me always is try to know the dog you're showing, to give the people, your client, your dog, the judge, the best of you, the best of the dog. So sometimes, yes, I like sweating like crazy when I show a dog that I don't know. Or maybe sometimes you're helping a friend and say, hey, can you show this dog for me? And they have to go right away. And you are with this dog like what I do now, you know? So yes, at that point I get nervous. Or like big shows sometime, like national or stuff like that. Yes, I get nervous.
And do you have to do anything to steady yourself? I'm asking, you know, for because there are juniors that get nervous, and we all have different things that we do. Maybe we haven't thought about it. And I like to ask each professional what they do, because there may be some trick that someone may be able to try.
Just one of the things that um, sometimes you go to nationals or Westminster or big shows like that, you know, that you have one shot, one chance. I sometimes I think in things that I like. I think I don't know, but it's gonna sound ridiculous probably, but I think like I like to go to the beach. I like the water, so I imagine myself in the beach, relaxed stuff, you know. Or I think in my kids and my wife. I think in my kids a lot. Things that I have done, and it's that 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, a minute that I'm thinking about that to transport me out of the dog show. Okay, and calm me down, and then I just walk in the ring. If it's a dog like I really don't know, like I say, sometimes you show dog that you don't know, I just focus all my power on that dog. Try to meet and to know that dog in 2 seconds, in a minute before I walk to the ring. Okay, and try to understand the dog. Do not force the dog what to do. Try to understand the dog, and that is what I'm focusing. For me, that works.
Yeah, and I think that's a really special quality that you have, and that, you know, I've watched you when you have a new dog, you'll play with it, throw some bait on the ground, and you're studying, what does this dog need from me? And you don't have a certain way that you force a dog to fit into. You have this way of dancing and allowing you, seeing what you need to be for that dog and how you need to show up a little bit differently, what that dog needs from you. And that's it's very brilliant to watch.
One of the things that I want to say, when you meet your dog that you're going to show, or even your own dog, okay, even your own dog, what is the first thing? This is for me, this is my own opinion, okay? What is the first thing that you need to do with the dog, even before you train the dog, you teach the dog, is get that confidence, is get that the dog trusts you. The dog need to trust you 100% before you do anything to him, okay? A dog that you grab and you're gonna grab from the leg and try to put the leg in the ground and lift the head and put the ears, if you force to do that at the beginning when you get the dog is gonna be scared of you, okay? So the first thing that you need to understand that you need to do is gain that confidence on the dog. The dog need to like you. The dog need to play with you. The dog need to love you. And then you're gonna do whatever you want with that dog. That's why when you say that you have watched me work with the dogs for 5 seconds here and there, I'm trying to know the dog, but I don't forcing him to do anything. I just throw bait, like grab it, be happy, look at me, you know, is always do that. Try to the dog love you before you try to do anything with them.
Well, that sounds amazing. Can you tell us how you do that?
People ask me sometimes how much you train that dog, because he's like perfection. He look at you like, you know, he don't take the eyes out of you, okay? And I say, you're not gonna believe me. So even if I tell you, you're not gonna believe me. I never work with the dog. And they say to me, come on, how are you not gonna work with the dog? And I say, I never work with the dog. So what I do is I bring the dogs home and I let them be. I let them be pets, okay? I just let them run. I just, I don't even talk to them. I just go, play, whatever. I bring them in, I feed them. So that contact every day create a relationship. After a couple of days, the dog is going to start to look at you. He's going to come for you. He's going to get closer to you. I have a female that I'm showing right now, a Doberman, that I'm gonna talk about that particular female, because she came to my house and I could not touch her. When the owner gave it to me with the leash, she growled at me, okay? And I say, when the owner left, I say to my wife, dear, what are we gonna do? I don't know if I can do this. So I did with her what I always do. Right away, when the owner left, I took the leash, let her go. She was running, she was scared of me, she was scared of my kids. But night, all my house is fenced. So by night, I opened the garage door, she came in, I closed, I feed her, put her in her X-Men, she walked in by herself because she was scared. This was like a week, okay? One day, after that week, I put her outside again. She approached me. She came. I was with my hands in my pockets. She came, and she, like Dobermans do, she did like this with her nose and tried to reach my hand, and I walk away, and she started following me. And since that day, we are best buddies. The following week, I put a leash, grab a bait, and the female did anything for me. And then I work with her. I teach her to go down and back, going around, and stalk her, but she was not scared anymore. She didn't care if I touch her head, her rear, her front leg. So what I want to say with this is give the dogs time. Give the dogs the right time to know you, because you're going to know them. But let the dog know you 100%. Okay, never when you are teaching like that, never yell at them, never scare them, never do sudden movements, never start with the leash. Give the dog time to know you, and I promise you, you're gonna have the best result that you can ever get.
Thank you. That's fabulous, and a fabulous description on building trust. So this, I guess, goes into the way of, you know, a dog that is flat, has no interest in showing. How do you develop that with sort of a dog that's just bored and disinterested?
Well, that's why I always prefer a dog like this and crazy and all that, because you can calm, you know, the dog down, and he will give you everything. But most of the time it's very difficult, very, very difficult, when you get the dog and the dog is like dead. There's nothing here. You know, it's like they don't want to do it and they don't want to do it. Excuse me. So what I will do is take it home and take it with you. That's why I always encourage owners to always leave you the dog for, you know, a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I like to work with them like that for 3 weeks. That way the dogs know you, you know, and then is your job try to find something that the dog like, maybe a toy, maybe a sound, maybe food, and you start to develop that interaction with him. And at some point the dog is going to click. Sooner or later the dog is going to click. It's very difficult when you grab a dog ringside and do this in 5 seconds, in 10 seconds, in 3 minutes. We are not magicians, okay? We are good, we are not good, but we are not magicians. We cannot do this in 3 minutes. Okay, so what I always, when someone gave me a dog like this, I ask them if it's possible, send it with me. That way I meet the dog, I know the dog. And I say right away, I say, I can show it, but I'm not gonna give you 100% of me doing this. So my biggest thing will say, just try to know the dog, try to find some, my mom's keep calling, I'm sorry. And try to find that thing that the dogs like. Maybe sometimes that thing is, when you're working with that dog, is another dog present that he likes. You know, I have dogs that came to my house, they do nothing, they don't have interest in nothing, but they have interest in that particular dog because they like that dog, and they form a pair. And I have been working with this dog and that dog together, and I build that dog confidence with this one that he likes, okay? And he repeat or he imitate what the other dogs do. So that is a way sometimes that I find that dogs that don't do anything do something with a dog that they feel confident, and they copy what the other dog does. So that has been a way for me to work with dogs like that. Again, ringside, when someone gave you the dog ringside, you're going to do what you can do in 3 minutes. It's not much you can do. You know, this past weekend when I was in Perry, Georgia, a gentleman came to me and said, can you show my Doberman female? and I really could because I didn't have nothing in that class. But I say to him, look, she's a little bit scared, and I don't think she's going to do anything for me. I will be just charging you for something that I'm not going to offer you anything. And he understood. I didn't show it because I think would not be good, but that have been a lot of times a way for me to train this kind of dog with another dog to bring them up.
That's a great, very creative solution. And I love how you're always analyzing a dog and trying to.
Oh, my daughter, they just got home. Say hi.
Hi there.
Hi there.
Can you say hi?
What would you say are the attributes of a great handler, Esteban?
Be honest. Always know where you have and let the owners know. And be, I will say, be honest. The best thing that I can tell you. Be very careful how you treat your dogs. Treat them like they are the king or the queen of your day, of your life. Be very, very particular how you treat them, how you take care of them. I think that is one of the biggest things that a handler can do, because this being my job, I have to take care of them in a way that the same way that they take care of my family. Because I'm showing that dog, the owner is paying me because I'm showing that dog. So you have to take care of them to the best. They are the center of your life now. Okay, so you have to take care that dog the same way that dog take care of your family. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Not exactly.
No.
But I'm getting take really good care of them and make them feel like they're a queen and king and well loved,
Okay.
and an important integral part of the family.
Being a handler, this is my job, right? So the dog is, the owner is paying me to take care that dog, and at the same time, because they are paying me, that dog is taking care of my family. You understand? So how they take care of me, I take care of them. I think that is one of the biggest things for me as being a handler, or see in a handler, when they take care the dogs to the best.
I think that is very well said, and I've never heard it said quite like that. Thank you. I would like to have an opportunity for the kids to, some of the juniors, to ask questions. And
If anyone wants to come on,
if anyone wants to send a question through the chat line for Esteban, this is a great opportunity. This man really, really knows what he's doing. And
sometimes
has very creative when it comes to showing dogs. It's very creative solutions.
So just let us know in the chat if you're interested.
Yeah, so if anyone's interested, put a question in the chat box and I will ask Esteban some questions. Do you have, what is the time?
It's 20 minutes.
Okay.
Just plenty of time. Just in case anyone wants to go forward.
So going in a little bit different direction, Esteban, we have several juniors that are new to showing, juniors that are seasoned, have been doing it for a while. If you were judging junior showmanship, what would you be looking for?
I will be looking for a handler that try to be the most natural with the dog. Okay? When I say that is, I don't know specifically all the rules to the junior handlers when they go in the ring, but this is what I would like. I would like to a handler, to a junior that do not have the dog restricted all the time, try to show freely as they can, and try to be less, how you say it? You correct me if I say it wrong, Kelly, please. Noticeable, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Don't be all over the dogs all the time. Just try to be calm. Try to be, because the one you want to show is the dog, is not yourself. So I don't know the right word to say that, Kelly. So that is what I will be looking for a junior.
Did you show in junior showmanship as growing up?
No, they didn't have junior showmanship when I was growing up. No, I never did it.
Okay.
I started to show dogs for another people at very, very young age, very young.
So I did see a question from Brianna asking how long Esteban has been showing Dobermans, and he has been showing since he was 8. And
I'm 25 years old, so I've been showing dogs for probably, I'm 48, so probably for 40 years. 40,
And
yeah.
we have a fellow Doberman handler, Katie Gomes, that has a question for you. How do you train your Dobermans to gait with their head and their ears up?
Say that again, please.
How do you train your Dobermans to gait with their neck up and their ears erect?
Okay. Do you remember what I say at the beginning? You need to get your dogs confident. After you do that, you will be available to do whatever you want. Whatever you want. But I'm going to give you a tip anyway. Kelly mentioned something that when I'm working with the dogs outside the ring, I grab a little piece of bait and I throw it in the floor, like maybe 5 feet away from me. And very, very slow, I let them go get it with the ears up. I got another piece of bait and I keep walking and throw it. And I let go with the ears up, go grab it. Very slow, very slow. You're walking with the dog. After you repeat that many, many times, at some point, you're just going to do the motion with your hands. And the dog is just going to look forward and it's going to put the ears up and it's going to go. So what I want to say is, I did this very slow, walking. I have the dogs in my hand here with the leash. I throw the bait, walk, let it go get it, throw the bait again, let it go get it. And after you repeat that many, many times, you start to add a little bit of a speed on that. So now from 5 feet, you're going to try to throw it 10 feet and you're going to start running a little bit like you're doing down and back. When the dog get the idea, they're going to get the idea after you repeat and repeat and repeat. At some point, you're just going to do the motion with your hands, and the dog is going to know that you're going to throw something, so they're going to focus, what is it? And you're just going to give the speed, and the dog is just going to go.
Thank you for breaking it down into such easy steps. It's really helpful. I want to see.
There's one from Corinne. Do you have that one? If
Okay.
you are junior breeder handler, is it more important to be at the breed ring or junior ring?
Okay, I'm gonna check this chat box for a second. Okay, so I have a question from Corinne, who I believe also shows Dobermans. Hi, Corinne. If you had, Esteban, if you had to choose between if you had to make a choice between showing in the juniors ring or showing in the breed ring, what would you recommend a junior choose?
Well, I never have that experience that I say before. I never showing juniors, but at that time you have to ask yourself what is more important for you. What is more important, to showing juniors or to go ahead and go and showing the breed? So that is very, I cannot answer that for you because I don't know what juniors is for you and what going to the breed is for you. Okay. Now, is this help? If you have a dog like you are ranking or you're trying to finish, and at the time is at the same time, and you love to go in juniors, but if you go in juniors, you're not going to finish that dog, or you're going to miss the ranking of that dog, I will go for that if it's me. Okay, but like I say, I never show in juniors, so I don't know. But what I will say again is just whatever is more important for you at the time is what I will do.
Thank you. Okay.
Do you have anything to add to that? You showed in juniors.
Okay, I have a question. Let's see. I have a question from Brianna. Brianna says that she shows a Manchester Terrier, and when she gets out bait, just a small piece, her dog grabs it out of her hands and starts eating it. And when it's time to go around the ring, she's very distracted and does not move. So how could she get her to stop eating all of the bait all at once?
Don't take more bait in the ring. Don't take more bait in the ring. Because your dog, I think your dog now knows that he's going to steal that bait from you and it's over. That's it. He don't have any more rewards. Okay? So try to practice without bait, maybe a toy, maybe something outside the ring, and see how that works for you. And then try to grab the dog maybe with the leash. I do this because I'm like, I have the leash in my hand, right? So try to grab that dog shorter. Don't give the dog much space to move, and you're going to have that dog more under control. Okay? When you have that dog more under control, now he's not going to be available to steal the bait from you. Okay? And try with the toy, try with something different, and see when you walk in the ring. But you show that you don't have, you grab the dog, you before you walk to the ring, show that you don't have anything in your hands. Okay? Don't put your hand in your pocket, because if not, he knows you reaching for bait. Just try to practice like that without a bait a couple times, okay? And he will know that you don't have bait. So see how he goes, and if he don't get crazy or nothing like that, okay? So again, try to have the dog more control, less leash, more shorten the leash, and you're going to have more control of him. Show that you don't have anything in your hand, and try to walk, try to imitate what you do in the ring. Put a person like as a judge and try to do the same thing without food, and shorten the leash, and see where he does.
That's a good idea. I have a question from Anna, who shows pointers, and she has a pointer that spooks a lot in the ring. Do you have any advice for her as to what to do with a dog that is spooking and nervous in the ring?
Is this her own dog? How old is the dog?
It's her own dog. And
Kind of similar to Michaela's question about.
let's see.
How old is it?
I think she's young. I thought she was around 2 years. She's 3.
3 years old. So this is her own dog. Is
Yes.
This dog, well, a lot of things can happen, you know. This dog is acting okay at her house, is acting with a good temperament that doesn't scare anything. Is this happen just when she goes to the ring or in her house too? That is a thing that you need to know, you need to see. Okay, what is this dog environment? Okay, is this dog a lot of times too much in a crate, too much in a neck span? Is this dog sleeping in bed all day and don't do anything else? Okay, sometimes dogs that do that for me is like, okay, why, if I'm in bed all day, I have to go to the ring, run around the ring with many other dogs? So I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Okay, so you have to figure it out, the environment that she's living, and then try to figure it out that and transport that to the ring. I don't know if I explain, or maybe she's more confused.
Well, I mean, I think that that's helpful because you're offering different scenarios that aren't just at the dog show, but you know, when she's at home, if there are different things she can be doing, and we'll have an.
What I encourage you is, if you go to dog shows, try to play with this dog. Okay, try to go, I don't know, sometime, you know, in ring time, group time with these a lot of people and all that. Just walk with the dog, but do not work the dog. Don't stalk the dog. Oh, please come and touch the dog, because you're going to get more scared. Just ignore the dog, walk with him or her, grab a piece of bait, a piece of toy, whatever, a toy, I will say a toy, and play inside. You know, that is what I will do, and try to see if the dog come out of being scared. But do not go in there and try to stalk the dog and ask, how can you please come and touch the dog, because you're going to get it worse. You need to make him understand that when he goes in the building, when he goes there, is to have fun. Okay, that is what I will try to do first.
Is to try to make it fun. And the other thing that I like that you said is to ignore the dog. And like you said, you go into the show and the dog is afraid of things. Sometimes you just let them deal, let them come around. And then when they do, like as you said, come up to you and then start to interact, then you can start engaging with them.
Yeah, just walk around the show, talk to friends and all that, and just let the dog be a dog, you know? And that's it. If you see that that dog is interested on something, and now is looking good and is looking, you just say, oh, good boy, stuff like that. You know, very simple.
Okay. I'm gonna take a look at some of these. We've got lots of questions coming up, which is great. We have a question about, okay, let me see. I have a question about Great Dane. Nellie, can you see that question? Is there a question from
No.
Isabella? Okay.
I don't see everything.
I have a question. I show Great Danes. I'm not seeing the rest of it.
Oh, I see.
Oh, she didn't finish posting the question, so I'll
Okay.
just let her know.
All right, Isabella, I tried looking at your question, and it doesn't look like it's finished there. So if you want to finish that up, I'll see if I can ask Esteban. Okay, so I have a question from Izzy. She wants to make the dog look, I believe Izzy has Great Danes, wants to make the dog look the best when she has them stacked, and sometimes their ears don't stand up. Do you have any tips for how you hold the ears up with one hand? She always has to use two, but she'd like to be able to do it with one. Can you describe?
This is a Great Dane, right?
Yes.
Okay, my question to her will be, why you have to stand up a Great Dane ears with your hands? Ask yourself that. Why? It's the same thing that if I walk with the Doberman and I force the Doberman to put the ears up, or a boxer, or whatever dog that we crop the ears. I see that, I will say all of them, Great Dane handlers. And I will say, work with your dog, gain the confidence of your dog, and the dog will put the ears for you. Even this is better because it's your own dog. The dog knows that you're not going to do anything wrong. Okay? The last time that I have seen a free baiting in a Great Dane was when I was showing Lex Luther, and this gentleman, what is he, Joe, that was showing a black Great Dane, I think, Kelly. He always do free baiting with that dog, I believe. And from then to now, people go down and back, come back, and right away do this in the down and back with the leash and the hands. Don't do that. Try to work with your dog like as every other dog. Try to gain confidence on the dog. Find something that the dog like, a toy, a food, whatever, could be whatever. Grab a leaf from the ground and throw it like this and see if the dog put the ear. Try many different things, okay? As the handler, is your job to find something that the dog like and you can keep his attention, okay? I think that is the best advice that I can give you. I don't like when people in the Great Dane ring go down and back and come back and don't even try to do free baiting. Okay, he's a working dog. Why he cannot do free baiting? What a Doberman can, or a boxer can, or a Rottweiler can. Try to do free baiting. I believe the day that someone get a Great Dane and working and do free baiting will be unbeatable because it's a beautiful dog.
Thank you. And you have shown Great Danes before. I've seen you with
Yes.
with a few Danes, so I've seen you do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Check it, Nelly. What's the time here?
We've got 6 minutes.
Okay, so we can do a few more questions here. Okay, so I have a question from Brianna. She says her dog does not live with her. Her dog is 10, I believe it's a toy Manchester Terrier. And if she needed to work with her in a short period of time, what would you recommend she work on first? If she were at a show and doesn't have a lot of time to work her and isn't able to have the dog live with her, what should she be doing with her toy Manchester Terrier?
So if the dog doesn't live with you, maybe you have the chance when you go to the dog shows, you have the chance to interact with the dog before you go to the ring. If you do have the time, but when I say the time to interact, not 5 minutes before ring time, no 10 minutes before ring time, okay, is during that weekend. Okay, try to take the dog for walks, try to take the dog to play, try to see if you can feed the dog, okay? Try to do all that behind the scene that nobody else see, but you do, your dog see you do this, okay? And try to gain that confidence. I always gonna say the same, try to gain the confidence of your dog. And then you can work with him. Okay, but try to spend the time when you are at the dog show with him the most. Okay, no working and working, just quality time, work for walks, play, stuff like that. And the dog, I promise you, the dog will be doing great for you.
Yeah, and I would say too, if I'm at a show, sometimes I have clients that don't want to leave their dogs, and if I know that them spending time with me would be beneficial, I'll say to the client, just get to the dog show early, drop your dog with me, and let the dog be with me, let the owner go somewhere else. And then the dog learns that when the dog's at the dog show, I'm its person. I'm the one they can count on. I'm the one that takes it for a walk and takes care of them. And then you can have this routine where even if you can't have that toy Manchester with you, the dog can then know that when it's at a dog show, you are its person. And I don't know, you can try that. Maybe that will.
Yeah. And another thing that you should do is ask, because the dog does not live with you, so you should ask the owner, tell me a little bit about the dog. Tell me what the dog like, tell me when the dog eat, tell me when the dog go out, tell me when he likes to play, with what he like to play. I'll ask all these questions, you know. Never be afraid to ask, because at that time, that is the only way you're going to know that dog. Asking the owner, because you don't have much time with him. Okay, so those questions are going to help you to try to know that dog and what you can do better for that dog. Okay, never be afraid to ask, never.
Yeah, that's a great point that Esteban makes, and I mentioned this before in the Katie interview. Us professional handlers, a lot of times we don't have much time to work with the dog. So if Esteban says to me, Kelly, I need you to show this dog, I'll say, what does it need? And he might tell me it doesn't like this, it doesn't like that, you need this. And he'll give me a really quick rundown, and I know how I need to show up for that dog. And that's really the secret of a brilliant handler. You can change up who you are, who you need to be, whether you're soft, firm, easy. You need to be able to show up a little bit differently with different dogs that need different things. Okay. Okay, I believe, let me see if I can find this question from Corinne. Okay, so Corinna has a question. She says she was showing a bulldog in juniors, and now she has her first show quality puppy that is a Samoyed. They have very different gaits. How do I know the best gait and speed for my Samoyed? He is only 4 months old right now.
Whatever you say before Samoyed, I didn't hear it.
She had a bulldog. So she had a different breed, and now she's moved to a Samoyed, and she wants to know what the best, how she can know the best gait for her Samoyed.
Make someone video you when you're moving the dog. So you move the dog in different speeds. Okay, you're gonna move the dog in totally different speed that you think that is good for the dog. Okay, so have someone video you, and then you're gonna see, you're gonna watch, or have someone who knows about movement and all that and the breed, and you say, look, I'm gonna move this dog walking now. I'm gonna move this dog a little bit more faster. Now I'm gonna move the dog faster. What do you think? But no one is gonna be better than your judgment when you see that dog move with you. That is what I do. Okay? I make people to video me, even with class dogs, because I want to find the right pace. So even in the ring, okay? And that is the way you're going to learn, or that is my opinion. That is the way you're going to learn how you have to move your dog, I think. That is what I do.
I love Esteban's suggestion of a video, and I think of, you know, having someone video you with different dogs doing different things is great. It's great feedback for you to be able to see what you're doing. For me, when I read that question, the way I show dogs and the way I move a dog, I can feel it. And there will be, I'm going to say it this way because there are going to be some other juniors out there that are like me and can just feel it. And my stride changes by how a dog feels. So I can feel on the lead if the gait feels a little bumpy, jagged, erratic, and I will change up my stride to come into rhythm with a dog, and it feels smooth. So for those of you that are feelers, try just feeling and sensing yourself coming into rhythm with that dog. Just another approach, another option. Okay, so that does conclude our interview and question and answer, and I am going to have an opportunity for people who want to stay on the line and to be able to come and talk to Esteban or I personally. I'm going to open that up in just a second, but I do want to close by, well, first of all, saying to Esteban, thank you so much for volunteering your time. You have your family at home, you're on the road a lot, and you just volunteered this time to be here, and I really appreciate that.
The truth is that Kelly told me she's going to pay dinner for me.
That's all it takes. Just offer Esteban food.
It's all about food for me.
He'd be a great show dog. You just show him some food.
I really appreciate the opportunity, and was an honor for me that you guys are here. And I can share stuff that I have learned over the years. I have learned watching a lot of people and take care of that for me. You know, you always take what you think is best for you, always, okay? And again, always be patient for the dog, because they know always going to do what we want them to do. The more patient you have, the long way you're going to get with the dog. Always. Never forget that.
Yeah, and that's repeated by so many handlers, and I love that word. You know, I was a kid once too, and I remember, you want something now, and we live in a society that things are a quick fix, but patience
It's a long way.
A long, long way. So in just wrapping up, I just want to read a little quick thing here. I just want to say to everyone that I want to instill in you that your dreams do matter. If you have a dream, pursue it, practice, work hard. If you want to be successful in this industry, you are going to have to work hard, very, very hard. You'll need to overcome lots of challenges. This will not be easy. However, I do believe that applying yourself as a dog show handler can help you become stronger and can help you walk through life more confidently and more successfully. You will need to learn how to manage your thoughts and feelings and emotions. If you are able to manage these things, if you aren't able to manage these things, your dog will sense it, and it will feel your lack of control and will likely not perform at its best. So even like as Esteban said, he takes his mind to a place where he's feeling more relaxed, and then his dog can feel that he's relaxed. Many handlers that I've interviewed for my book describe dog handling as an intricate dance. I love this analogy, and for those of us who listen to what Esteban had to say, there is this beautiful dance that he does with his dogs where he honors them individually, he allows them to come around on their own time, and he allows them to come to him when they're ready. And that's not something all handlers do, and that's one of the many reasons why Esteban is so successful at what he does. A great handler knows how to connect deeply into their dog, and they know the difference when they must lead and when they must follow. All great handlers are capable of both. And on that note, I'm going to end this here, and again say thank you, and anyone that wants to stay on the line and ask us questions, I'm going to unmute you. Thank you very much.